I woke up to find I'd been reborn as the villainess in a novel. The male lead had worked construction jobs to put me through college, only for me to dump him for a wealthy heir. Later, he built a business empire with the female lead as his partner. Yet here I was, shamelessly crawling back to beg for another chance. The performance concluded to thunderous applause. A wealthy suitor from school strode onto the stage clutching an enormous bouquet of crimson roses. "Clara," he proclaimed, "I'm crazy about you. Be my girl? Say yes. Say yes." The crowd erupted in cheers and whistles. I turned to the back of the audience where a man stood watching the romantic spectacle on stage with disinterest. Our gazes locked, and he smirked faintly before turning away. No way. My boyfriend would be furious. I didn't even glance at the bouquet, lifting my skirt to step off the stage, instantly drawing every gaze in the room. I quickly gathered my skirt and reached for William's arm. He stiffened but kept his back to me. "I'm still in my stage outfit. If your friends see me like this, they'll tease you." I held his hand, pouting and whining softly. "I put on this pretty dress just for you. Won't you even look at me?" After a long pause, William finally turned to face me. His worn-out camouflage jacket was speckled with dried mud, drawing curious stares from my classmates. No one expected the school's golden girl to be with someone like him. He straightened up with a hint of helplessness in his voice. "You should let go, my hands aren't clean." His hands were calloused and rough, a stark contrast to his strikingly handsome face. I looked up at him with a faint smile. "Not at all. You're perfect just as you are." I tugged his arm with a pout. "I aced my performance, where's my hug? Cut it out." Suddenly, I threw my arms around his neck and leaped onto him, my slender legs locking around his waist. William froze but instinctively grabbed my dress to steady me, swiftly carrying me out of the hall. Actions speak louder than words. He finally put me down outside the dormitory and suddenly asked, "Why are you acting like this?" The old Clara would never have dared to hug him in public. She even made William hide when he visited her on campus. "Aren't you my boyfriend?" William stared at me, his eyes glinting with something indecipherable. After a pause, he gave a low laugh and said, "Prove you're my girlfriend, come with me somewhere." In a cramped rental in the city's old town, the door creaked open, releasing a musty odor. The dim, damp room held nothing but a bare single bed, not even an extra chair in sight. William sat on the bed, lighting a cigarette without even looking up. "Take a seat." The only place to sit was the bed against the wall, where he was sprawled right in the middle. Without hesitation, I walked over and plopped down onto his lap. William froze, the cigarette dangling awkwardly between his fingers before he flicked it to the ground and crushed it underfoot. "What now?" I already handed over my entire paycheck this month. In the story, William had already realized that the original Clara didn't love him. He'd only gone to her college to confirm it, and that's when he saw her with the wealthy heir. The moment he witnessed that, I entered this world. He had secretly teamed up with someone to launch an internet startup. Though the business was still in its early stages, he wasn't flat broke. He simply refused to spend another dime on me, his so-called heartless girlfriend. "I don't need money. There's something else I'm after." William raised an eyebrow. "Don't tell me you're after me now." He was undeniably handsome, tall and straight-backed with a striking face. He certainly had the looks to make any woman swoon. "I don't want Samuel, that guy who keeps sending me flowers. He won't leave me alone." Haven't you always dreamed of marrying into wealth? Money alone can't keep you alive. In my past life, I married a wealthy heir only to find him cheating and abusive. When I tried to leave, he locked me in his basement. I needed someone to help me get rid of him, and William was the perfect choice. "What makes you think I'd still help you? Just because you're pretty?" I knelt before him, gazing up. I had little to offer, but this face was my one certainty. Men in my past life had fallen over themselves for it. In the end, even William had saved me from that rich heir. What else could it be but this face? "I'll graduate next year. I can start working part-time to pay you back." "I don't need that. Get out of my place now. Just then, there was a knock on the door. A soft female voice called out, "Mr. Sun, are you home?" William's gaze turned icy, a hint of revulsion flashing in his eyes. He remained seated, dismissing the voice as though it were mere background noise. Then his phone kept ringing insistently, each call ignored until it automatically started again. Whoever was outside must be heard it but stubbornly kept calling. I pressed to end the call, walked over, and pulled the door open. A girl stood there, frozen in place the moment she saw me. I sized her up. This was Mary, the future heroine William would cherish. She wore a simple t-shirt and jeans with light makeup, looking fresh and lively. But after waiting outside for so long, her forehead was glistening with sweat, smudging her makeup slightly. Meanwhile, I was dressed in a designer outfit William had paid for, my hair perfectly coiffed and makeup immaculate. The contrast between us couldn't have been more striking. She swayed slightly, lips pressed into a thin line, yet her gaze stayed resolute. "And who might you be?" "I'm William's girlfriend." "Hasn't he told you about me?" Of course he had mentioned me. But she'd never seen us together. Even on Valentine's Day, Clara hadn't shown up, so Mary assumed it was just an excuse. Little did she know William actually had a girlfriend. Mary's face turned pale, looking as though she might faint any second. Just then, William finally came to the door. "Mary, what are you doing here?" Mary's eyes were red as she handed over some documents. "There's an urgent matter at the company." "I tried calling, but couldn't get through, so I came in person." "I got it. I'll head over right away." "You go on ahead." Tears streamed down Mary's cheeks, mixing with sweat as they trailed down her neck. She looked utterly heartbroken. I reached into my bag, took out a tissue packet, and passed it to her. "Don't cry. You'll ruin your makeup." "Get lost with your phony sympathy," she snapped, shoving me away. With that, she turned and ran off in tears. I sighed. For the sake of her future as William's sweetheart and the future wife of a conglomerate, I let it slide. Turning back, I saw William glaring at me, his expression dark. "Why were you so nice to her?" "She works with you, doesn't she?" "How did you figure that out?" I held up the documents in my hand, and William's eye twitched with a mocking look. "Didn't he think you could actually read that?" "Fine, I admit I used to be all about designer labels and fashion, barely scraped through exams by cramming last minute." Finally, he raised an eyebrow. "You can go now." "Now?" Remembering the last time Samuel locked me in a basement, I couldn't help but shudder. "I'm not leaving. Samuel's always lurking near my dorm." "I'll stay here." "You think you can survive here?" "Get yourself a hotel room." "I'm broke. No way I can afford a hotel." "Don't tell me you blew through 10,000 in a week." I didn't say a word, holding his gaze, when suddenly there was another knock at the door. "Is this Mr. William's residence?" "We're here to deliver the air conditioner." I opened the door while the worker verified the details and carried in the air conditioner for installation. William glanced over. "Did you order that?" Before I could respond, another person poked their head in and asked, "Did you order a bed?" In less than an hour, the deliveries kept pouring in: a refrigerator, a sofa, a water heater. William sat quietly on his narrow bed, smoking while watching the workers assemble and install each delivery. When they finished, one of the workers turned to William. "Could you stand up for a second?" Looking confused, William stood up. The workers quickly took apart and hauled away his single bed. One of them added earnestly, "We've just launched a waste removal service. We'd appreciate your positive feedback." William's expression grew even stormier. Too exhausted to explain, I grabbed a change of clothes from the box by the bed and headed to the bathroom. When I stepped out of the bathroom, William was already seated on the brand new sofa, skimming through some documents. His clothes hung loose on me, turning his modest collar into a plunging neckline. With no hairdryer, I towel-dried my hair, but it remained damp and clung to my chest. William glanced at me, then quickly averted his gaze, his ears turning an unmistakable shade of red. He scowled impatiently. "I'll go grab a few things." 15 minutes later, he returned carrying 2 takeout boxes. He unwrapped one and began eating, then pulled a pink hairdryer from his pocket and tossed it to me. "Found this in the dumpster. Dry your hair before you soak my sheets." I was at a loss for words. Humph, what a tsundere. After drying my hair, I noticed he'd already showered and left a plate of seafood fried rice on the table for me. The rice was golden, with each grain coated in egg and topped with a generous layer of shrimp. Earlier, he'd been eating plain fried rice with eggs. When William stepped out, I was halfway through a mouthful and froze mid-chew, gaping at him. He hadn't tea-dried his hair, just draped a towel over it. Water trickled down his sculpted chest and abs, vanishing into the waistband of his workout shorts along the sharp V-line of his hips. William's lips quirked up slightly. Drooling? I wiped my mouth instinctively. My mouth was perfectly dry. At night, I sprawled comfortably on the bed while William, all 6'1" of him, was crammed awkwardly onto the sofa. It was his own choice to sleep on the couch. Humph, he deserves it. I turned away with a smug smile. The day after William left, I went back to campus to pack my things. However, the moment I reached the gate, someone blocked my way. Samuel looked haggard, as though he hadn't slept all night, and demanded, "Where were you?" "I was with my boyfriend." "Where else would I be? And since when do you get to question my whereabouts?" His chest heaved with barely contained rage. "Him? You've got to be kidding me." His voice dripped with sarcasm. "What does he have that I don't? And who do you think you are to deserve me more than him? We've known each other since we were kids and started dating in high school. He covered my college tuition. Every piece of clothing I own, every meal I eat, he's provided for all of it. How could he not be good enough for me? If anyone's unworthy here, it's me. I don't deserve him." My anger boiled over. "Compared to him, you're not even in the same league. Is money the only thing you've got going for you?" Samuel seized on this, raising his voice. "I'm rich. Do you really want to spend your life poor, chasing after some loser? Sorry to burst your bubble, but that nobody you look down on has been my rock. Even when he's broke, he's never walked away. Keep pushing me, and my boyfriend might just come around to set you straight." Samuel sneered. "Your boyfriend must be slaving away at some construction site, too busy hauling bricks to bother with you." With that, he made a move to seize my hand. Just then, another hand shot out and clamped down on Samuel's arm like a vice. "I always have time for my girlfriend." Samuel yelped, "Ow, ow, ow." William didn't let go, his hand clamping down on Samuel's arm like a vice, his voice icy, "Stay away from my girlfriend. Or else. A nobody like me has nothing to lose but your life? That's a different matter." Samuel's face went pale, and he nodded like a bobblehead. The instant William let go, he bolted like a scared rabbit. William turned to me with a strange look, part embarrassed, part almost affectionate. At last, he asked, "You said he was bothering you, didn't you? Then why come back?" "Well, aren't you tired of me?" William's face turned red. "I never said that. Why did you choose to sleep on the couch then?" William's face turned red, then pale, like a chameleon shifting colors. "Why, you're a girl. How can you say such things?" he stuttered. "I wouldn't mind keeping you company." Once I finished packing, William took me back to his place. "Have you secured an internship yet?" "No, I haven't. Starting today, you'll be working at my company." Just as I started to smile, he added, "Your wages will be docked to pay off what you owe." "What about my meals?" William's face flushed slightly, but he maintained a stern tone. "The company covers meals and accommodation." I followed William to his company, a modest firm with around 20 employees. As we walked in, some colleagues began teasing, "Mr. Sun, is this your girlfriend?" William didn't deny it, though his smile betrayed him. "Consider her the new hire for now." Mary's face turned pale as she forced a stiff applause. I glanced at William to see if Mary's reaction bothered him, but he just smiled softly at me instead. So what exactly will I be doing? I asked, clearing my throat awkwardly. Follow me. As we walked, I overheard our colleagues whispering behind us. I never thought William's girlfriend would be this stunning. He's never been this gentle with anyone before, has he? Look how he adores her. They're made for each other. Suddenly, there was a crash, a cup clattering to the ground. Oh no. Mary! Are you hurt? Someone exclaimed. As the office door closed, I glanced back. Mary was glaring at me, crumpling a piece of paper in her fist. I found it strange. William showed no interest in Mary whatsoever. How could they possibly end up together? Maybe feelings would grow over time? You'll be my assistant from now on, William said. Let me know if you need any help. Wait, am I accidentally interfering with their growing relationship? Hey, what are you spacing out for? William's voice snapped me out of my thoughts. What's got you so distracted? Don't you realize? Mary has feelings for you? That's her problem, not mine. I was stunned. If you're not into her, I can just let her go. You really don't have feelings for her? She's both beautiful and talented. William's expression turned stormy. Why are you pushing me toward her? Of course not. I was just afraid you might regret it later. I mean, all I do is spend your money anyway. I love seeing you spend my money. Just like you said, nothing makes me happier than seeing you wear the things I bought for you. I froze. Wait, you heard what I said to Samuel? William's ears turned pink as he cleared his throat. Focus on your work. I didn't bring you here to space out. Under William's patient guidance, I quickly adapted to my role as an assistant. My relationships with the other coworkers were improving except for Mary. Whenever I joined a gathering, she would make excuses to leave. Recently, Mary landed a major client, and everyone kept asking where she wanted to celebrate. Company policy gave the deal closer the right to choose the restaurant. Mary avoided answering, staring down at me through the crowd with a haughty look. I just smiled and turned to William, saying I had a salon appointment and would have to skip it. Knowing how much I cared about my appearance, William didn't question it, just reminded me to wait for him afterward so he could give me a ride. I went to my usual salon, and by the time I came out, it was past 10. There wasn't a single missed call from William, just a text from 2 hours ago. I ordered takeout for you. Wait there after you eat, don't wander off. I tried calling him, but his phone was either busy or out of reach. A pang of unease struck me, so I hailed a cab to the restaurant. At the private room door, I took a deep breath and stepped inside. My colleagues looked startled. Clara? What brings you here? Where is William? The client had an emergency, so Mr. Sun and Mary went to handle it together. I forced a smile. Oh, I see. If he comes back, please tell him I went home. On my way home, my phone kept ringing, but I ignored the calls and checked social media instead. 2 minutes ago, Mary posted, heading home with my crush as my personal chauffeur. The vibe is just perfect. The photo showed a man's side profile in the driver's seat, recognizable yet aloof. William didn't come back until 11, and the first thing he said was, "I'm sorry. Something urgent came up. I tried calling you, but you didn't answer. I feel bad about missing our plans." He was so sincere that I decided to give him another chance. Why didn't you pick up? Did I call you? He fiddled with his phone, puzzled. That's odd. How did it switch to silent mode? I scoffed. Who else had their hands on your phone today? William thought back. Mary said her phone wasn't getting any signal, so she borrowed mine for a bit. You don't think she'd tamper with your phone, do you? He tousled my hair to calm me down. Must have hit the button by mistake. I thought you didn't like her before? He hesitated, then chuckled. Yeah, she used to bug me with dumb questions. But turns out, she's actually pretty sharp. And you gave her a ride home? She had a few drinks with the client and got a little tipsy, so I gave her a ride home on my way. It felt like a heavy weight pressing on my chest, ominous and suffocating as though fate itself was pushing them together, weaving their futures into one. Feeling completely exhausted, I stepped back from him. I'm worn out. I'm heading to bed. William stopped me, his expression earnest, his eyes brimming with warmth and concern. In that moment, I couldn't question his sincerity. William, would you like to stay with me tonight? William looked stunned, as if he couldn't believe his ears. Huh? I stood on tiptoe, brushing a feather-light kiss on his eyelid as his body trembled beneath my touch. When I woke up the next morning, the bed was already empty. On my phone were a few unread messages. No work today, your boyfriend got you the day off. Breakfast's in the microwave, just heat it up. After breakfast, I packed up my things. Truthfully, I didn't have much. Everything here was William's doing. When Laura came to pick me up, she was as talkative as always. Don't worry, I'm the top agent in this business. Just follow my lead, and you'll be a star before you know it. I trusted her after all, she had been the one who secured me the Best Actress award in my previous life. You're certain your ex has no dirt on you, right? If he spills anything once you're famous, it'll ruin you. Relax. Last time around, I took advantage of him, married Samuel, and ended up the hottest star in the industry. And even then, William never said a word. He wouldn't say anything now either. Before leaving, I texted William. We're over. I'll settle everything with you within a year. Then I changed my number and left town with Laura. Laura got me an audition for a supporting role, and it was a breeze. After my audition, the director signed me on the spot. The filming lasted 6 months, and I made a tidy sum from it. I transferred all the money to William, though by then, that amount meant nothing to him. In the following year, William's company made a splash in the business world, and he became the hottest rising star in high demand. Meanwhile, the show I starred in premiered on a major network, and my performance won me a fanbase. Laura quickly booked me for several high-profile films, and before long, my name became a household one. Then the rumors began to spread like wildfire. A quick search of my name online would bring up all sorts of headlines: Clara's plastic surgery, Clara's secret sponsor, Clara's mystery benefactor, Clara's cosmetic procedures, Clara's secret backer, Clara's secret patron. Even a photo from that night where I embraced William after my performance was circulating online with the headline, Rising Star's First Love. The photo captured my face clearly, but William's features were less distinct. I wore an elegant dance dress, my legs wrapped around his waist as he held me, one hand resting on my hip, the other discreetly ensuring my skirt stayed in place. I scrolled through pages of scathing comments as Laura vented her frustration by tearing apart a throw pillow. Look at what they're saying. She dumped her poor ex after making it big? You weren't even in the entertainment industry when you broke up. And this one says, he worked construction jobs to pay for her education, only for her to ditch him when she became famous. Do these people even know the real story? Well, they're not entirely wrong, I admitted. Laura stared at me in shock. What I mean is, he did work in construction to pay for my tuition. She glared at me. And you repaid him ages ago. Money can be repaid, but gratitude is a debt beyond measure. Laura finally ran out of steam and sighed. The only way to end this is for him to come forward and set the record straight with a tweet, saying you two split up before you entered the industry. That's not happening. Why not? Looking Laura in the eye, I gave her a plausible explanation. He's married now, and his wife doesn't know about our past. If he speaks up now, wouldn't that hurt his family? Laura, being married herself, immediately grasped the gravity of the situation and let the matter drop. She advised me to stay home, lay low, and wait for the next scandal to take the heat off me. I readily agreed to her plan. You actually take my advice? Without hesitation, I nodded. I'd do anything for you. Good. I booked you for Galaxy Group's ad shoot. They've been chasing you forever, but you kept saying no. Now's your shot. Countless artists would kill for this gig, and it's yours. I sighed. Alright, I'll take it. Pleased, Laura left. Early the next morning, she took me to the shoot. The ad shoot went smoothly. Everyone was professional, and no one mentioned the recent rumors directly to me, though I did notice some curious glances. At lunch, someone had ordered a lavish spread from a 5-star hotel exclusively for me. The extravagant meal instantly became the center of attention. Laura looked bewildered. Was this your doing? I swear it wasn't me. I thought you were the one who ordered it. Her eyes widened. As if. The crew started murmuring among themselves. Now the rumors about me having a mysterious sugar daddy would only spread faster. Laura shared the same concern, her face clouding over. Maybe we should skip this meal. But with everyone already eyeing our 5-star feast, skipping it would only fuel more gossip, and leaving for lunch would hold up the shoot. So reluctantly, we ate under the crew's watchful eyes. Just when I thought it was over, another lavish delivery showed up within half an hour, an afternoon tea set from that same 5-star hotel. The delivery person cheerfully announced, "This is from Miss Clara's boyfriend." The crew burst into cheers, thanking me. Clara, your boyfriend really pulled out all the stops. Laura pulled me aside. Alright, out with it. When did you start seeing someone? Who is he? If I said I have no idea who this so-called boyfriend is, would you even believe me? I'd sooner believe in ghosts. She squinted at me, her expression shifting. Wait, you're serious? I nodded. Laura's expression darkened. Is this some obsessed stalker? What if he comes after you? She remained on high alert for the rest of the afternoon, scrutinizing every delivery person with hawk-eyed suspicion. As soon as filming wrapped, she hastily gathered our things, itching to leave. But as we reached the parking lot, a towering figure emerged and approached us. Laura's nerves were frayed, and she shielded me with her body, trembling. Run. I'll hold him back. I stood frozen, watching the familiar figure approach. Laura was on the verge of tears. Run. Now. William approached Laura with a hint of amusement at her protective stance, extending his hand with a calm smile. Hello, I'm William, CEO of Galaxy Group. Laura, overwhelmed, shook his hand as if she'd just encountered a deity of wealth. Oh, hello. Thank you so much for choosing Clara as your spokesperson. I'm actually Clara's boyfriend. William's next words left Laura stunned. She turned to me slowly, her expression dazed. You told me you were single. I wanted to deny it, but seeing the faint smile on William's face, a strange sadness welled up inside me, and the words stuck in my throat. She's been a bit upset with me lately. Sorry to trouble you, he said smoothly. Laura, as if she'd just won the lottery, wandered off in a daze, practically floating on air. Soon, only William and I remained in the parking lot. He walked toward his car, then turned to glance back at me. Come on. I followed and got into the car, spotting Mary in the back seat. Though just 2 years had passed, she looked haggard, as if she'd aged a decade. As soon as she saw me, her eyes burned with resentment. William settled into the driver's seat and said coldly, Talk. Mary's shoulders trembled, and she began to spill everything like a broken dam. I'm sorry. I muted Mr. Sun's phone and erased his call history. I was the one who secretly took that photo. He merely gave me a ride to the subway station. I kept my mouth shut. Finally, Mary broke down in tears. Ever since you left, my life has been nothing but misery. Mr. Sun keeps sending me on back-to-back business trips to godforsaken places. She clung to my sleeve, sobbing uncontrollably. I'm only 26, but people say I look 36. I've never even been in a relationship. Seeing her exhausted face and dark circles, I couldn't help but feel a pang of sympathy. All right, I forgive you. Mary wiped her tears and timidly glanced at the driver's seat before asking, Is that okay? Do I still need to go to Africa? You're off the hook. Upon hearing this, Mary didn't hesitate. She flung open the car door and bolted like a bat out of hell. William kept his eyes fixed on the road, barely acknowledging me as he started the car. I opened my mouth a few times, but his guarded expression kept shutting me down. The scenery outside became increasingly familiar until we reached the old town. I trailed William through narrow alleys to a modest apartment building. He fished out a key and unlocked the door, with me stepping in right behind him. Everything remained exactly as I remembered. Even the faded light blue bedsheets we'd chosen together still lay on the bed. William grabbed a beer from the fridge, sank onto the couch, and took a few slow sips. I perched on the edge of the bed, silently observing him. His face hadn't changed at all, still distant, his lips pressed into a thin line, his entire demeanor cold and detached. Yet strangely, in this room, watching him, I felt a familiar warmth stir in my chest, as though even the faded bedsheets carried echoes of our shared comfort. Then something caught my eye, a red stain on the blue sheets. I froze, a sudden realization dawning on me. Seeing my reaction, William followed my gaze and noticed the stain too. His beer-holding hand froze mid-air as his face first reddened, then darkened with anger. Gathering my courage, I ventured, "I didn't bring, sanitary pads." William frowned. "What do you mean?" I bit my lip, and his expression hardened as the meaning sank in. Clenching his jaw, he growled, "Don't even start. Go get them yourself." I just clutched my stomach and glared at him in wordless defiance. After a few seconds of glaring, he finally huffed, changed his shoes, and stormed out. The nearest 24-hour store was a long way off. Through the window, I watched him jog down the street, his hair tousled by the night breeze with quiet elegance. 15 minutes later, I was dressed and curled up on the couch while William moved about stiffly, his face unreadable. He stripped the bed, tossed the sheets into the wash, then returned from the kitchen with a steaming cup of ginger tea. The pungent ginger aroma made me recoil. "I can't stand ginger." He raised an eyebrow and scoffed. "Don't be difficult." Reluctantly, I drank it under his watchful gaze, forcing down the pungent tea as my stomach twisted in protest. "Open your mouth." Reflexively, I opened my mouth, and he slipped a plum candy inside. The sweetness instantly overpowered the ginger's bite. William's voice remained icy with exasperation. "You're so demanding." I reached for his arm, gazing up at him with remorse. "I'm sorry." He lowered his gaze, locking eyes with me, his voice sincere yet pained. "What exactly are you apologizing for? Every little thing? Clara, tell me, what have I done to make you doubt me this much? Do you really think I'd ever leave you for someone else?" In his eyes, I saw raw pain, frustration, and helplessness. He had done nothing wrong, it was me who doubted him, me who feared he'd leave. "It's not your fault." My throat tightened, eyes burning. "I just don't believe in myself. I'm not worthy of your love." William let out a humorless chuckle. "If you think you're unworthy of my love, then why did you take my innocence?" All the emotions I'd been bottling up burst at his words, my tears freezing mid-fall as I gaped at him. "You're a man. What chastity are we even talking about?" He let out a low scoff. "Haven't you heard the saying? A man's chastity is his most valuable dowry. You've taken that from me. Do you want me to die alone?" I glared at him, feeling wronged, then flung my arms around his waist, burying my tear-streaked face into his shirt. With a grimace, he lifted his shirt to wipe my tears. "Stop crying. You're a mess." He was lean, with a faint ripple of muscle across his stomach, unexpectedly alluring. Almost instinctively, my fingers reached out to trace his skin. Unable to tolerate it any longer, he pulled my hand away, then bundled me tightly in the bedsheets and held me close. "Behave and get some rest," he commanded. And for the first time in ages, I fell asleep peacefully in his embrace. Perhaps it was the ginger tea, but by the next morning, my stomach felt warm and comfortable the entire morning. Since I wasn't working at the moment, I decided to tag along with William to his office. He worked while I snacked and watched movies. At lunch, the secretary came in and asked William what he wanted. Without glancing up, he tilted his chin toward me and said, "She'll choose." Only then did the secretary notice someone on the couch. I tilted my head with a sweet smile. "Beef noodles, please." The secretary froze when he saw my face, his mouth gaping wordlessly for a few seconds. William frowned at me. "Not a chance." He snapped at the secretary, his voice icy. "Why are you still here? Get her pork rib soup." The secretary finally snapped back to reality, nodding hastily before scurrying out to place the order. I stood up, walked over to William, and plopped myself onto his lap, wrapping my arms around his neck and swaying playfully. "But I really want beef noodles." Just then, the door swung open again, and the secretary returned with a laptop, completely unfazed by William's icy glare. He placed it before us and blurted out, "Sir, you've made the tabloids." The headline on the website caught my eye: "Exclusive, Clara's secret patron unmasked." As soon as I clicked the link, a high-definition photo popped up showing William and me holding hands while entering the company, every detail crystal clear. The article chronicled William's rags to riches journey, flaunting his present fortune and even dredging up his romantic history. A grainy childhood photo showed young William standing beside me, my face half turned toward him, only a sliver of my profile discernible in the frame. The comment section was buzzing with heated discussions. Netizen, "Flying rabbit, he made his fortune and ditched his childhood sweetheart, she made it big and dumped her ex, trash belongs with trash, perfect match." Netizen, "I don't have cat food, no wonder she's getting all the best roles, she's got a sugar daddy pulling strings." Netizen, "Clara's fan, she gets great roles because of her talent, not some shady backer. Quit the baseless gossip." Netizen, "Clara's biggest fan, her talent shines through her performances. How could anyone with a heart bear to smear her reputation?" Netizen, "Random onlooker, I'm just here for the drama, but they make such a cute couple. Seriously though, who doesn't have an ex these days?" William handed his secretary a few photos and murmured instructions under his breath. The secretary's eyes lit up with anticipation, poised to act immediately. "Understood, I'll alert the PR team at once." Laura called right then and cut straight to the chase, "Don't panic, I'll have the website pull the story." I said flatly, "You might want to check Twitter first." There was a brief silence before Laura exploded, "Clara, what the hell have you done? Your ex-drama isn't even settled yet, are you trying to get torn apart by the internet?" William took the phone from me, his tone courteous yet composed. "Miss Laura, I happen to be the ex-boyfriend in question." On Twitter's trending topics, the official Galaxy Group account released a statement. They confirmed the romantic relationship between the CEO and the renowned actress Clara, chronicling William's entrepreneurial journey while expressing heartfelt appreciation for his longtime partner Clara's unwavering support. They also strongly condemned the malicious paparazzi and vowed to take legal action against the defamation. The post featured a series of 9 photos capturing moments between William and me. The first photo was the blurry version previously leaked by the media, but this one was in high definition, clearly capturing my profile as I gazed up at William. Then there were photos of us holding hands, tracing our journey from adolescence to young adulthood. The center photo showed me in a dance dress embracing William, his face clearly visible. The last 2 photos were shot outside William's corporate headquarters. One was taken when he first started his business after work. He'd put a helmet on my head as we rode his tiny electric scooter together. The other one was the hand-holding photo that went viral in the news. The internet exploded with excitement. "OMG, what a fairy tale love story. I'm totally shipping William and Clara. Hashtag William Clara hashtag Galaxy Group." I thought they were both terrible people, but it turns out they're true romantics at heart. I used to work in the same building. Back when they were just starting out, they rented a tiny office, but now they own the entire place. Meanwhile, my company went bankrupt. Just minutes after the news broke, they'd already issued a statement. Must be nice to have insider access. Laura replied to a comment on the official company account, "My mom approves." Got a problem with that? This sentence quickly went viral, and the term maternal family became an online meme. Later, during a talk show interview, the host brought up that moment. At that time, your love story moved countless hearts, with many saying it restored their faith in romance. I glanced at a certain someone in the audience, smiling softly as I whispered, "It was him who made me believe in love again." The audience followed my gaze and erupted in cheers the moment they spotted William seated in the back rows. The photo of William and me locking eyes was also shared online, captioned, "May we all find someone whose face lights up at the sight of us."